Hey guys, welcome back. It's me again, Mr. 4K Upscaler. As you can see right off the bat, it says 60, steady 60 frames per second. This is Crysis 3 running on EVGA GTX 1060 SSC edition. And let me show you the graphics. Very high texture resolution, very high, system specs very high, anti-aliasing. I left it FXAA, which is fine. I'm running at 1080 for now. I can try 1440p later on, along with the 4K. Let's go to advanced graphic. Everything's set to high, very high. Anisotropic filtering 16 times. The only thing I moved down was the motion blur. It's just a personal preference. I don't like that motion blur thing. I hate that. Lens flare are fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start this. As you can see on the left top corner, that's the fraps, 60 frames per second. And this fraps are very reliable. I have tried it on many other different things. I tried it on different softwares, different videos and whatnot. It's very accurate. And I compared them to my EVGA software that came in. So precision that I have. It's an EVGA precision measurement thing for fraps and other things, and voltages and power target and GPU clock offset and all that other stuff. It's the software that came in with EVGA. I have that, and I compared it to that. I compared it to MSI. I compared it to Asus Tweak. So fraps, it's pretty reliable. In case you guys are thinking I'm trying to pull some, tricks, I'm not pulling any tricks here. What you see is what you get. This is a direct feed. All right, so let's continue. Now it's 47:48. That's because it's loading, and I've been getting a lot of criticism because I was criticizing the AMD XFX RX 480 graphics cards. The only reason I criticize is because it doesn't work. That's the main reason why I criticize it. And it is a mid-range card, but for the same price. Okay, here was my argument. AMD, it's selling RX 480 8GB graphics card for $250, and then EVGA Nvidia, it's selling their 1060 6GB for $270. Are you trying to tell me that you're gonna go ahead and buy a card, spend $260 on a card from AMD that doesn't even work, has a black screen? I call it the black screen of coma. It doesn't even work, let alone the poor performance that it gives. Are you trying to tell me that you're going to go ahead and spend that kind of money on a card that doesn't even work when you can get a 1060 without gazillion times better performance? And it's not my PC, as you can see. Obviously it's working fine. It doesn't shut down. It doesn't have any problems, doesn't have any issues. He only has issues with that AMD card. And if you guys go into Google, I'm talking about the AMD fanboys, go to your forums. I'll gladly send you a link to your forums where you can see it for yourself. Google it. Type in black screen on 480. Type in FX Fury, R9 Fury problems. You'll see all sorts of different problems at AMD's. Okay, go to Jay-Z's 2 Cents website. His channel. Go to Tech of Tomorrow channel. Go to Linus Tech Tips. They all will tell you the issues and problems AMD is having. So, truth is, Nvidia has the upper hand. Now, Vega this, Vega that. Well, we'll see what happens with Vega. AMD will have to impress the heck out of me with Vega, and they'll have to prove that point to me. And I will have to personally test Vega to see if it's true what they say about the card. For right now, it's all just hearsay. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, this is how it's going to work. I'll call out the locations as I see them, like this one in Sector 1 Delta Zero. These are potential cache locations. Our primary target is Tower 3 Delta 3. As soon as you get the hardware, we'll knock the market out cold. Sector 1 Delta 3, looks good. There, Sector 1 Delta 0. Sector 1 Delta 2, got something. Keep low and out of sight of the tower. I thought that would be fucking obvious. That's it. Recon what we have and let's move on to the next sector. I guess that's a no-go.
Okay, so I've been getting about 30 to 28 to 30, but that's something you expect when you're running everything set to maximum. When you're running this game set to maximum, okay? Everything set to very high. All of the filters are on. So yeah, you're going to be getting 38 to 40 on 1080p on 1060, but that's still pretty good performance. If you ask me, sure, I can overclock this card and I can get a little bit better clock speed, a little bit better performance on it if I wanted to, you know. But still, this is a good performance for a card that only costs $260, $270. You have to remember, this is all running if I move the anisotropic filtering to 2 times, we'll see a much better performance. If I put the water to high, we'll see much better performance. If I put shadows to high, we'll see much better performance. If I put shading to high, we'll see much better performance. And post-processing, if I put to medium, we'll see even much better performance. I would put it high. So now let's see what happens here. Okay, let's I think it could be the drivers, could be that because this game is old. The drivers could be a little bit screwed up for this game, so that's why we're not getting that super boost performance. And I know this game is designed on AMD, so maybe that could be it too. Let's try and do post-processing. Let's keep everything at high. Let's see what happens. Object high, game effect high. I think we should be getting some great performance here. Let's apply it. I'm pretty sure right now we'll see a much better performance. Hold on. Remember, the whole purpose of this is for me to test. I'm testing this, okay? And I'm using a third generation. I'm sorry, I know I said fourth, but it's a third generation i5 processor. It's an old processor. I have a gigabyte motherboard. It's a decent motherboard. It has 3 PCI Express slots where I can put I can do SLI if I wanted to, but I don't wanna.
Target covertly, boss.
Okay, so what we see basically is when the particle effects are happening and when you're running, the frame rate drops down a little bit. So what we're gonna have to do here, we're gonna have to go to the texture resolution to keep it at high and leave it like that. Anti-aliasing, I'll leave it at FXAA, but let's keep the texture resolution at high. See what happens. Now, for this, I'm gonna have to restart the game. So I'm gonna have to quit and restart the game. So let's do that, shall we? Okay, so let's go ahead and resume the game again. Let's see what happens now. I think the loading time should be better. You guys have to remember, right now my GPU clock is 1600 megahertz. I can move it up to 1700. You know, I can go ahead and overclock this card and have it move a little bit faster. What I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to test this card to see how well it responds. Now, you have to keep in mind, not every game is going to run super great on NVIDIA. Some games are designed well for, depends on the drivers, you know, like what type of drivers are we using. This particular game, Crysis 3, was designed with AMD in mind, so AMD takes the cake on this one, and I'm pretty sure AMD card, this will run much better.
Okay, this is how it's going to work. I'll call out the locations as I see them, like this one in Sector 1 Delta 0. These are potential cache locations. Our primary target is Tower 3 Delta 3. As soon as you get the hardware, we'll knock the bastard out cold. Sector 1 Delta 3, looks good. There, Sector 1 Delta 0. Sector 1 Delta 2, got something.
Warning. Subject profit.
Keep low and out of sight of the tower. I thought that would be fucking obvious. I guess that's a no-go.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's try and let's go to graphics. Let's keep the let's keep it at medium. Let's keep everything at medium and let's see what happens.
Approach the target covertly, boss. Prioritize Sector 1 Delta 6. Strong contender. Move!
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and restart the application. And we'll see how well it runs now. Let me see. Graphics very high. Nope. We'll keep that at medium. Let's keep it everything in medium. There. Let's Alright, so let's see what happens now. we might get a little bit better performance. You know, this doesn't mean that the card cannot handle it. It just means that the drivers are a little bit, you know, half of the time when you're running certain games on NVIDIA, some drivers are a little bit better than the others. You've seen what I was able to do on Resident Evil with everything maxed out. You've seen what I was able to do on that engine Unreal demo that I did on my videos. So it all depends on the drivers. Some games runs better than the others, you know.
Okay, this is how it's going.
All right, right off the bat here, I'm getting 30 frames per second, which is pretty good. It's not bad. It's pretty good.
These are potential cache locations. Our primary target is Tower 3 Delta 3. As soon as you get the hardware, we'll knock the bastard out cold. Sector 1 Delta 3, looks good. There, Sector 1 Delta 0. Sector 1 Delta 2, got something.
Warning.
Keep low and out of sight of the tower. I thought that would be fucking obvious. Move.
You see now I get a little bit better performance, you know. I could run high settings, but I would have to like maybe get my GPU clock to 1700, you know, and get it a little bit faster, because this card is SSC super clocked, overclocked, and you can overclock this card. This is what I like about EVGA cards, but it runs pretty cool, and it keeps the card at the 68 Celsius GPU temperature, which is pretty good, you know. Obviously, if you have a better CPU, if you have, let's say, i7 4th generation or higher, or if you have 32 gigs of RAM memory, or if you got a really good motherboard, that can also enhance the performance of this card. You know, it depends. It's not just the GPU. It depends on your motherboard. Obviously, you know, it could be a bottleneck if your motherboard, if you have, let's say, Maximus 8 Asus motherboard, Republic of Gamers, with 16 gigs or 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and if you got the brand new generation iCore i7 processor with this card, yeah, you're gonna be hitting 60, maybe even 80 frames per second, like maximum everything on 1080p. So it really depends on your CPU as well, and your memory RAM. You know, all of these things can have a issue on that. But you guys already know this. So there you go. There you have it, guys. Let me show one more test hitting the water, so you can see how the water, you know, moves once the bullet hits. I just want you to see the frame rates on the top left corner for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, this is a very good card for the price. That's the point I was trying to make. You know, this is not a high-end card. This is a entry-level Pascal card, okay? 1070, you could say it's a 1070. It's a high-end. That's when you're stepping into the high-end. You know, if you go to 1080, then you're really out there at the elite. And if you go to a Titan X Pascal, then you're like, you're reaching like above that. Like you're reaching the 4K at 60 frames per second. But this is still a good card for the money. For $260, $270, I mean, you're really getting a good deal on this card from EVGA. And that was the point I was trying to make to AMD fanboys, is that I never had any issues, any problems with AMD. I had AMD. Heck, I even have I used to have an AMD motherboard on my previous PC, but I don't have it anymore. I used to have AMD, the old FX. But the motherboard got fried. I don't have it anymore. It's a long story short. My previous PC, I had AMDs. I have AMDs before they were AMD, when they were ATI. You know, I have nothing against AMD and ATI. I would love to see AMD advance and make some great graphics cards, but in the past they have proven that they're not that great. NVIDIA is more reliable. NVIDIA has it's much better performance, man. And when people say that NVIDIA jacks up the price, it's not true. And here's a good example. Why would you spend $260 on AMD card that doesn't even work? Forget the performance. It doesn't even work. When you can go with the NVIDIA for the same money and get better performance, and it works. You know, I'm not trying to be an NVIDIA fanboy. I'm just letting you guys know. I know it sounds like I'm an NVIDIA fanboy to you, but I'm not. I'm just going for what's better. If AMD can impress the fuck out of me with with Vega, I'll make the statement right now. If AMD can totally impress me, if AMD can impress the heck out of me this summer or this spring, whenever they release Vega, if they can impress me, and if I lease the Vega card and I'm blown away by its performance, then guess what? AMD's got it. AMD's winning. That's great. We're back with red again. But at the moment, AMD's not winning. Not even with that Fury. 980 Ti kills that Fury. 1070, 1080, especially the Titan X Pascal kills everything out in the dust. Do you guys understand? Titan X Pascal right now, there's nothing fast that exists at the moment as far as GPUs. I'm just speaking the truth, guys. I'm not trying to favor green and say NVIDIA, I'm a fanboy. If I was NVIDIA fanboy, I would never ever even consider buying an AMD. You've seen me bought AMD. I tried it, put it in, didn't work. Spent the whole day messing with it. I went to the forums, I tried everything. I even sent the links where it clearly states everybody's having this issue and no one can seem to fix the problem on this issue. So the only person that would call me a fanboy is AMD fanboy. And it's not true. I'm just going for what's better. As I said, I already said it. If Vega can impress me and prove itself that it's better than 1080 Ti and that it's better than Titan X Pascal with Vega, alright, hooray, great. Red wins. But for now, at the moment, green wins. And I have a feeling it was going to stay that way. I don't think Vega's going to be able to surpass what 1080 Ti and what Pascal Titan X can do. Just my opinion. Alright, so let me show you a little bit more of this video and then I'm going to call it quits. Thank you for watching. And I know fanboys, red team fanboys are going to get triggered by this video. I know that. They're going to get triggered just by me having the 1080 GTX.
Run! Fucking move!